Let's try this again. Where were we? So, I've been meaning to do this review. I promised somebody I would, and I fell down on the job. So, what we have here is Horde Wars Basic D12 system. What is it? Okay, well, it is a tabletop role-playing game using the fantasy genre, of which, hey, there's a million of them, right? How is this different? Well, the first two things that I see different is, one, it's a D12 system, which that sets it apart. Nice, easy progression. So he is using a 12 or a 1 would be an auto success or auto fail if you rolled it naturally. Your difficulties you're going to be aiming at are between 6 and 16. And if something's completely impossible, don't bother rolling. Fair enough. How do you get a 16 on a D12? Well, that's going to require things like a circumstance bonus of +2, where the DM or Game Master, or whatever you want to call them, decides for, oh, you're on a horse or you're standing on higher ground of some sort, so +2 bonus to hit against the guy that's trying to come up towards you. You're at the top of the stairs and he's running up at you, +2. Magic and equipment bonuses, or, you got the blessings of the priest, or, you're using the enchanted sword, you're going to get bonuses that way too. So 16s end up being possible, but unlikely. Death at 0 hit points. You bleed out and die in 1d4 rounds. Okay, so we're not getting really fiddly with the death and dying rules. We don't do this slow 10-point progression. It's just, simple. Saving throws are based on attribute checks. Okay, cool. Yeah, that ends up removing the save versus attack type. You're scratching an additional chart that you don't need. Races: elf, dwarf, halfling, human, orc. So, human. Fitness 0, reflexes 0, senses 0, willpower 0. Assign 6 attributes points. You can have a maximum of 4 in any one attribute. Attribute points gained after character creation can exceed these maximums. So what have we learned? We learned that instead of having these attributes of 6, we have reduced it to 4. But instead of having, I have a strength of 15, what's my bonus? You're just going by the bonus itself. Okay, so you're eliminating that question. Well, if I go from a 16 to a 17, or if I go from a 16 to an 18, how far do I have to go to get the next bonus higher? Question gone. Cool. Land speed, 6 combat spaces. Elf, land speed, 7 combat spaces. Okay, so we're using combat spaces instead of feet and inches and yards and meters. So it's neither imperial nor metric. Don't need that. No conversions necessary. Natural weapons. Elf, fists do 1d4 blunt. Humans, fists do 1d4 blunt. Fighting styles. Human gets natural weapons. He can punch better. The elf gets bows and another fighting style of choice. Human gets another fighting style of choice. Okay, cool. All right, so I looked. You have elf, dwarf, human, halfling, orc. 5 races. The orc gets a d6 on their punching. Okay, cool. So we're differentiating a little bit between the races by some mechanics to help really set the tone that they are actually different. They're not just, oh, here's a human in pointy ears. Here's a human with tusky, teeth. No, they're actually something different and unique, and that'll have something to do mechanically. Human adaptability. Why can I not say that? You gain a feature of your choice. Cool. We're going with humans are the baseline and also very adaptable. Okay, I can dig it. 5 races is a little narrow to some people. I think it's okay. It's okay to go with. I did not see anything. There's no gnomes or anything like that. In the time I spent playing first and second edition, gnomes were right there in the book. Hardly ever used. Oh well. So what's the next thing I get to pick? Calculate hit points based on your starting hit points are 18 plus your fitness attribute. So everybody starts out pretty equally. Because 18 plus just it sounds like less than 6. 18 plus 3 to 4 maybe. Everybody has roughly 20, and so it doesn't matter your class. Character classes. Let's go with that. There's 21 of these character classes. Assassin, Blade Master, Acolyte, Archer. Crusader. Ooh, Paladin-like. Deep Delver. Ooh. Dungeoneer. I like Dungeoneer. Okay, Mercenary, Monk. Monk, are we doing the Eastern martial arts guy who's totally out of place in the West? Or are we doing something different? Let's look at the monk. A monk is a scribe and scholar dedicated to the preservation of knowledge. Monks are usually lesser members of a religious order. Occasionally, a monk will be appointed to a position of authority over acolytes and priests. Acolytes? I think. Skills. Faith, history, and law, and 1 skill of your choice. Ancient lore. You gain languages as a bonus skill. In addition, double your language skills on skill checks made to translate writing, found in ancient ruins and old texts. This is cool. This is an adventuring academic. And it fits in the Western Europe. I like it. I like that. Scribe. You can use a writing kit to make a document within 1d4 minutes of labor or make a rubbing in a single round. Make a rubbing? I mean, so you find something scratched into the wall. You find these runes or pictographs. You whip out a piece of paper and you take a piece of chalk and now you've basically made a photocopy of the wall. Okay? That's making a rubbing. That's something I haven't seen in role-playing games anytime recently. I like that. Cool. It doesn't sound worth much in combat, though. Wallop maneuver. When you damage a creature with a melee weapon attack, you may use wallop to knock him prone. Okay, I get that. There's a dog wanting attention. Priest, Skald. A Skald is a warrior poet. Got it. Tavern Wench. You start out your career as working in the food service industry. Okay. Skills, commerce, intuition, plus 1 skill of your choice. Deception as a bonus skill. A little bit of flirting. Evasion. When you're not wearing heavy armor, the first attack that would hit you during each round of combat misses instead. That's pretty good. So when the bar fight breaks out, you're going to duck most of the time when the mugs and chairs are thrown. Okay, that's a little better than I expected. Thief, typical Viking. Warlord. Warlord has spent most of his adulthood as a military commander. He may lead a mercenary company. Skills, some combat strike, rallying cry. This is a leadership type warrior. So you're a warrior, but you're focused on leadership. I mean, you have some physical attacks, but you're not all about the muscle. You're part muscle, part tactic. I like that. That's cool. That concept I first really saw done in 4th edition. Wizard, blue, wizard, brown. What? Color-coded wizards. Wizard gray, wizard red, wizard white. We have 5 different wizards. This is okay. So we have wizards that are specialized in different types of magic. The red has fireball and flare and haste. So flare, F-L-A-R-E. Not pizzazz, but as in poof. Wizard Gray. Thunderclap, Sonic Blast, Magic Shield. Okay. Wizard Brown, Melt, Acid Blast, Shapeshift. Shapeshift. Choose a beast with a maximum of 24 hit points. Now you already have like 20, maybe 18 to something. Wizard White, Ice Spikes, Freezing Ray, and Illusionary Disguise. Okay. All right. So we've differentiated some types of wizards. Cool. Get into skills. I got Astronomy as a skill. All right. Yada, yada, yada. Combat. You take combat as a skill, so you get a little extra, fighting style. Commerce, influence, investigation, sailing. Nice. Nice. Features. Okay, so we just went skills, and now we go features. Features look like skills, except a little more so. Reminds me of feats from 5e. Art of the Deal requires commerce training. Whenever you succeed with bargaining with an NPC, the price changes in your favor by 20% instead of just 10%. So in addition, double your commerce skill on skill checks made to bargain. So this is like exceptional version of skill. Field Medic requires medicine training. So we're at skill plus. Neat. Zap, maneuver, requires magic. Well, we got maneuvers in here too. Magical and supernatural features. Okay. So, whenever you want to take a feat or feature, if you're a magic type, you don't get regular feats. If you want to also take spells, you're going to have to balance some feats, some spells. Otherwise, you don't get a whole lot of extra spells. So you can personalize your wizard. Maybe you want to only have a few spells, but then have a lot of skills. Maybe you're a wizard who spends all day in the library, knows a whole bunch of spells. But you kind of have to rely on other people to do the mundane tasks. Cool. Weapons. Weapons can have various properties, such as defending, heavy, impact, inhibiting, missile, penetrating, reach, stunning. Okay. I have multiple pages of weapons. I just got 2, 3. Adventuring gear. You're paying by the mark or by the pence. Okay, cool. So we got a little bit of a fantasy economic system in here too. I'm like a third of the way through this. This is huge. This is huge. I'm going to have to speed it up. Acid flask. Yeah, okay. Page. Did I say this only cost $5? Seriously? Okay. Page 62 is the finale of the players section. Cool. Being a game master. Being a game master, if you want interesting stories that engage your players, be sure to use the fact that they are real people who understand right and wrong. Evil things like cannibalism, murder, slavery, and witchcraft identify enemies who should be opposed. Your players will feel good about defeating and destroying evil foes. Thank you. Thank you, DM Blackwell. Timers. Whenever your players trigger a new threat, roll 1d4 and use that as a timer to determine how many rounds until the threat emerges. Players may be aware of the threat and may only see you roll the d4. Either way, it will increase tension and their feeling of danger. Interesting. Okay. For a little tension, okay. Roll a d4. What's the d4? Oh, that's how long until something happens. What? Okay. NPC NPC personality traits. Roll 1d12 and pick from one of the 6 columns. That is a quick, I need an NPC on the fly. That chart can be used in other games. Travel encounter table. We're using a d20. That's fine. If you have d12s, you probably got them out of a full set that includes a 20-sider. That's all right, though. That's all right. Cool. What you could do instead of using the 1d20, you could roll 2d12 and then have it go 1 through 12 and then an overlapping. So 1 through 12 and an overlapping of the other d12. So you end up with a little more bell curvy kind of action. So you have rare and then more common creatures. That's something you could do, don't have to. This is a strictly linear progression. Beasts. Okay, so now we're getting into a monstrous compendium. I have a blood asp and a swarm of bats. Notice this is about the largest section of, the largest art pieces are about yay big, because he's not wasting a lot of space. Okay, so your page count is game. All right. Oh, I was wrong. This might be one of your bigger art pieces. That is Torvek the Earthshaker Dragon. So that is a lot of actions. That is 360 hit points. So that sounds like it's a named serious critter. We have some slightly smaller dragons, but they are significant amount of monsters. Okay, I could work with that. There's a, whoa. Whoa. Did I say monsters? We also have some of the other, we have built NPCs, Dwarf Guard, Dwarf Stone Guard, Dwarf War Priest, Dwarf Thane. So if you want to adventure with a bunch of dwarves, he already has multiple types. Were Tiger, False Door, aka Mimic, but we're not going to use other companies' names. False Door, monster. It's an ambusher. It's morphic. It moves at full speed through hindering terrain. Yikes. Seriously? That's basically a mimic that'll chase you. I like this. All right. Human Knights, multiple. Human Crusaders, multiple. All right. Now we get into the treasures. Random loot generator. So, depending on whether the adventure was low, medium, or hard difficulty, roll a d20 and compare it against the chart of your choice. All right, so I'm looking at this, and the more difficult fight or the more difficult adventure gives you more treasure, as it should. Coins and jewels table, decorations table. Decorations table, so you're kind of like filling out what there might be laying around. Ooh. Okay, so d20 followed by a d6. So decoration is material bronze, material mirror, bronze mirror. Okay, engraving, 5-headed dragon rampant. Rawr. Okay, cool. So it's decorated, and it is 1d6. Etched in, I got a 4. Etched in red draconic hieroglyphs which provide close range illumination. Or etched in blue dwarven runes which provide slight illumination. So, by yeah, that's a whole lot of different things. I could get a vase, I could get a cauldron, I could get a bowl, I could get a table, and they're all custom. All right, cool. So, a ton of decorations possible. Again, a chart you can use in other games. Games and music items, game sets, magical scrolls, sample relic weapons. Cool. Artifact weapons. The world of Horde Wars requires adventuring to gain possessions of artifacts. There are no merchants or shops with artifacts for sale. The listed prices are for resale value only. Artifacts are too precious to be sold by their owner except in the most dire of circumstances. Thank you. All right? You're not going to have a 7-Eleven on the corner that sells +1 swords. Takes all, I mean, people would steal them. People would rob the place. Okay, so here we have another case of rolling a d20 3 times. You go a little from column A, column B, column C. Dog snoring. Okay. I get a hammer. Special material is Dawnfire. Okay. Whatever that is. Properties enchanted is elemental. Roll below. So it is solar. So now I have the Dawnfire Solar Hammer. Sounds pretty cool. An elemental weapon's damage type replaces the weapon's normal damage type. So, doing solar damage, that sounds cool. I don't even know what it does. Sounds cool. Got a hammer that does solar damage. Right on. Sample relic weapons. Sword of the Dawn. Damage 1d10 fire. Properties impact and mercurial. Oh! Dawnfire. +1 die of damage during the day. So special materials is explained. I said, what does that mean? Well, here it is. Page 155. Artifact weapons properties. Mercurial means when you take the attack damage. When you take the attack action with a mercurial weapon, make 1 extra attack with it. So this Sword of the Dawn is whip, whip, whip all the way around. Neat. Neat. Artifact armor examples. We keep on going, but we get to page 167. These numbers keep getting higher because there's more pages. All right. Sample Adventure in Village. Chapter 13. Goblins Attack. This introductory adventure is meant for a party of 4 to 6 level 1 player characters. It should serve as a model to help the game master design his own adventures. This guy's thought of everything. You do the sample adventure too. Level 1. Let's take a look at this. So when I believe that's a Horde Wars Advanced. This takes you to level 4. I was looking in here, as you level up, you get like an extra 2 hit points. So you start with 18 plus a couple, and then plus 2 per level. So the power goes up, but it goes up slowly. It goes up at a reasonable level. So you get 2 hit points per level and like a feature or a skill. Reasonable. Okay, reasonable. So this means that you're not going to quickly outlevel the monsters that were a threat. They're going to go from a huge threat at level 1 to a difficult threat to a moderate threat as you level up. So the DM doesn't have to just crazy jack everything up as you go up. 5E's problem is that you basically are a superhero by the time you get to level 8. Okay? And level 16, it's like you're an anime superhero guy. What can you do? Well, with 1 punch, I can destroy a planet. Okay, so what monsters do we use? Each other. Let's just do a PvP fight. That's our game. That's what we're doing this evening. I'm going to provide a link in the description below. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. If this is the price that I remember it being, then I think it's a really good deal. Now, I already have Castles and Crusades. I already have 5e. I have first and second edition. What would I recommend this for? I would say ideally, I've known people who've gone through some troubles in their life. Okay, I knew a guy who lost everything in a divorce. He had to start from scratch, and he had to live on next to no money for a long time. And if he wanted to get back into role playing, $5, boom, you're in the chute. I think that times are getting tough. We're coming into a recession. This would be a great way to start over again if you had to start over. As a system, I mean, I'd have to really play it to say how good it is. Looking at it, it looks like it'll work. Mr. Blackwell has a gilded server, and he is running games using this system. It is in use right now. Overall, I'm going to give this a positive review, and I'll provide a link to where you can get a hold of it. Don't hold me to that $5, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Anyway, DM Kurt, out.